do to me?
You a fuck nigga, stay up in your lane.
South side, been ready. North side.
Love one and one.
I don't care what they say about. Don't care what they say about.
My damn lighter. Hey, yo, what's good, you guys? It's Boomer, and you're watching Bali Star. You feel me? So, yeah, today we's getting into Jamari. This YouTuber is disturbing. You feel me? So, yeah, man. Let's see what he's talking about, man. Make sure to leave a like, just below the video if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you're new, so that we can join up with the all-star gang up in this thing. Yeah, man. Let's get straight on into it. Let's go.
So being a YouTuber is a very interesting career, and by the time that someone can make a living making videos, it's safe to assume that they likely have a pretty large audience. And one thing that is inevitable when you have a large following is that at least some portion of your viewers will be kids. How many and how young definitely varies from channel to channel, but they are by and large the consumers who spend the most time on the website. Because of this, most creators have access to the youth in some form, and sometimes individuals cannot handle such power and find themselves in some horrible self-induced situations where they pretty much flush their entire career down the toilet over a couple of messages, or basically just some inappropriate behavior. That's where today's story comes into play, as we cover some pretty alarming allegations levied against longtime YouTuber Miranda Sings, who has been going viral on the internet for well over a decade, and she was one of those YouTubers who managed to translate online success into a real-life empire, taking her virtual show to live venues, and even getting her own series on Netflix.
I just uploaded a video to the internet.
It's like, you know how you sometimes turn down the volume on your radio so that way you could, like, you know, you could see better when you're like parking in a public parking lot or something like that, and it's like a full parking lot. You know, some people just like turn down the music in their cars just to see better, just say, you know what I'm saying, just say that they see better, or to actually do that. Like, I'm actually finding myself doing that shit now. That's what I just had to do, because it's like, yo, what I'm looking at is wild right now. I need to turn it down so I can see better.
Can't wait to go home and see it.
It's real good.
Because of this, combined with her longevity, she could actually be considered one of the most successful YouTubers of all time. But now she has been under some seriously hot water, as various fans have stepped forward with their stories of their relationship with Miranda Sings, real name Colleen Ballinger, and how at times these relationships became peculiar to say the least. And before we really jump into this story, I do want to note that at this time these are all allegations, and nothing that I say in this video should be perceived as a fact. I'm really just going to go through this Huffington Post article and give my personal opinion. On YouTube, Colleen Ballinger appears at first as a positive role model.
It's crazy because she looks decent. It's just like, dang, the character she's playing, man. It just goes to show, man, girls crazy as heck, bro. If they get the chance to be like that, like, see how crazy they could get, bro. This is an example right here.
Model for kids. She built a colossal platform, boasting nearly 20 million followers across multiple YouTube channels. That is a whole lot of subscribers, guys. By interacting with her young audience directly, largely through an online character named Miranda Sings, painted in overlined red lipstick, she sings like a childlike adult with a speech impediment who, despite her tone-deaf singing and awkward dance moves, earnestly believes that she's destined for stardom. So basically, she went viral for playing this pretty cringe character, and basically creating these videos that were essentially made to make kids laugh. Ballinger, age 36, has marketed herself towards children for nearly 15 years by taking part in YouTube challenges, collaborating with other popular YouTubers like JoJo Siwa, who also had a very large audience of kids, and having kids participate in her on-stage show. She has essentially created Pee-wee's Playhouse for a generation that grew up online. And listen, guys, when it comes to the entertainment space, no one ever really wants to be compared to Pee-wee. I mean, we all know how his career ended in the movie theater that day. And they note here that the nature of YouTube and social media allows her to build deeper interpersonal relationship with her fans in real time. And I think that's where the trouble with her really started. Publicly, Ballinger wields the power as a famous children's host should, but off-camera her interactions with fans veered into what they described as inappropriate territory. Several of Ballinger's longtime fans came forward with allegations that she maintained uncomfortably close relationships with them when they were teens and used her position of power to manipulate a select group of them for years. They released screenshots of their private conversations with Ballinger to evidence claims that she them throughout their adolescence, including allegations that she had inappropriate conversations with them about sex. And they also note here that the Huffington Post did review some of these private communications, which feature a phone number that appears to belong to the YouTube star. And listen guys, I've pretty much expressed this same sentiment throughout my career, that if you are making content online, especially content that is geared towards young kids, eventually you are going to be having some of these kids reach out through Instagram, through Twitter, through really any social media, and they want to have these personal conversations with you. And it's always been my advice, kind of just in general when it comes to interacting with fans, that you kind of shouldn't do it. I mean, it's okay to send a message here and there just saying thank you, and basically saying that you appreciate the support, but that's really as far as it should ever go. And in my opinion, when it comes to underage fans, you really should not be interacting with them at all, because you do not even want to begin to open yourself up to that kind of thing. In messages to her young fans, Ballinger appears to body shame, gossip about other fans, and reveal personal information about her romantic relationships. Yeah, this story is really kind of starting to remind me of that creepy rapper that we covered a couple years back named Hoodie Allen. Basically, he was this white rapper in his mid-20s. A large portion of his fan base were young girls who were in middle school and high school. And basically what this guy was going around and doing was adding these young fans on Snapchat, adding them on Twitter, having all these personal conversations with them, putting them in group chats together that he called the Hoodie Mob, and basically just engaging in a lot of online behavior with these underage fans that many people would deem to be inappropriate. Adam McIntyre discovered Miranda Sings in 2012 when he was only 9 years old. He created a Miranda Sings fan account on Twitter in 2013 and dedicated all of his time to it. 3 years later, in 2016, McIntyre's dedication paid off. At just 13 years old, he got to interact with his idol directly, which he noticed a funny comment he made during one of her YouTube live streams. At one point, Ballinger said that she would send a few lucky fans some of her ugly and unused clothes. Soon after, McIntyre claims that he received a pair of her underwear in the mail, including a bra and panty. In a 2020 video, Ballinger confirmed that she sent McIntyre the bra and underwear and said the move was completely stupid of her.
Now, in hindsight, I see how completely stupid of me. I should have never sent that. I don't know what part of my brain was missing at the time, but I thought, oh, this is a normal, silly thing to do. I should have realized and recognized how dumb that was and never sent it to him, no matter how much he asked.
So this is already something that she has admitted to doing. I mean, let's be honest, guys. When you send something out in the mail, it involves quite a bit of thought process. Like, you have to get the item in your hands, you have to package it, you have to put the person's address down. And just the sheer idea that she went through all of that, knowing that this fan was likely underage and she was sending him her undergarments in the mail, is just downright disgusting. And it just tells me personally that somewhere in her brain the connections are just really not hitting like they should be. Soon after that live stream, the two began to talk on a more personal level, mostly via Twitter DMs, and by 2017 he said he was good friends with Ballinger, then 29. Yeah, you know, I feel like when you're like 16, 17 years old, kind of start to think of yourself, oh, I'm growing up, oh, you know, there's not that much difference between me and an adult. But just me now being like a 26-year-old, thinking about talking to 14 and 15-year-olds every single day, I mean, that type of behavior is just beyond inappropriate. And it's definitely on the adult to decide that those are conversations that they should not be having. McIntyre said that Ballinger would bring up during their conversations back when he was still 14 and 15 years old. McIntyre wasn't alone in these interactions with Ballinger. He was also part of a small private group chat on Twitter called Kalini's Weenies, where he and other fans had exclusive and ongoing access to her. Yeah, I mean, if you're to the point where you're giving fans out your phone number and you're putting them in these group chats, to me you've already beyond got lost in the sauce. In a YouTube video, McIntyre shared one screenshot from a group chat which he says Ballinger asked McIntyre if he was and what his favorite position was. And let's just see what this YouTube video is.
And then furthermore, goes on and says, what's your favorite position? So we're aware of that one, right?
I didn't realize that this guy, Adam McIntyre, was this person. I've seen a couple of his videos from time to time on YouTube. I think he's like a traditional drama YouTuber. But it does kind of go to show me that you need to be careful who you're interacting with online, because you never know who they're going to become. This guy now has 233,000 subscribers. And it appears that he's the one really spearheading this charge against Miranda Sings. But the chat wasn't just a place for Ballinger to interact with her fan base, McIntyre claims. She got personal with them. He said in 2016 she confided in them about her relationship problems with then partner Joshua Evans, who was also a prominent YouTuber at the time. Yeah, I just cannot imagine being involved in this little group chat of all my different fans, knowing that they're going to like third period algebra, talking about, you know, stuff that kids have conversations about, and just like thinking it's normal in the back of my head. Just the sheer optics of that to me do not look very good. About a week later, Ballinger and Evans announced their divorce in separate YouTube videos. Ballinger didn't say anything publicly about the alleged emotional abuse, but McIntyre said he and the rest of the weenies were never told to stand down. Instead, they mobilized as Ballinger's de facto public relations unit, going on gossip websites and comment sections to defend her reputation and attack Evans amid their divorce. I mean, yeah, you can see how a situation like this with all these young impressionable fans can become rather cult-like rather quickly, as they want to stay and be involved in this group that accepts them, and they of course want to earn the ongoing respect of the leader. I was so involved in this woman's life that it's embarrassing to look back on. There were some days on a school night I would be up until like 4 a.m. trying to calm her down, he says. Johnny Silvestri was a 15-year-old freshman in high school when he found out about Miranda Sings. He said he didn't have friends at school, and then Miranda Sings filled that void for him. Yeah, I'm sure in a lot of these situations that is kind of the case. You have this kid who probably doesn't have a lot of friends, maybe they're not receiving the correct amount of attention at home, and then all of a sudden, you know, they get personal with somebody out there who they're a fan of, who also has these 20 million subscribers, and they finally feel special for once in their life, and they will probably do anything to maintain that relationship. And just like the other guy, he created a fan account on Twitter, and much like McIntyre said, he quickly found himself in private conversations with Ballinger. So at this point, it's almost like who knows how many other people had this kind of exact same experience, where they kind of showed themselves to be a super fan of this woman, and then they allegedly went on to basically be her online therapist. Silvestri said that he met Ballinger at a meet and greet portion of one of her live shows not long after he first saw her videos. After that, he rarely had to pay to get in. Ballinger often comped his tickets, he said. As it went for McIntyre, talking with Ballinger soon snowballed into an all-encompassing activity. He said he and other fans, many of whom were minors, would video chat with Ballinger as often as 5 times per week for several hours at a time. I mean, yeah, this is really just drawing more and more comparisons to that whole Hoodie Allen situation, where this guy was having these ongoing relationships with his super fans for years and years and years. You know, they knew a lot about each other on a personal level. Silvestri's parents knew he was a Ballinger superfan. Ballinger didn't respond to multiple requests for comment from the Huffington Post, nor did members of her public relations team and management. She hasn't posted videos to her YouTube channel in weeks. She appears to have stopped posting new content shortly after these new allegations came to light in early June. Ballinger faced public scrutiny over her fans' relationship back in 2020, when McIntyre published an original video to YouTube titled, "Colleen Ballinger Stop Lying." That year was also the last time Ballinger commented publicly on the situation, publishing a video apologizing for sending McIntyre her underwear. "My fans are many different ages, so yes, there are some teenagers, but also adults," she said in her response video. And you know, guys, at this point, it's kind of one of those things where we're just going to kind of have to see what happens. But from the outside looking in, at least from my perspective, a lot of this looks pretty bad. And it seems like there is going to be quite a bit of documentation of these inappropriate conversations she was having with her fans. And I don't get how you don't feel in the back of your head, maybe one day this is all going to catch up to me. But y'all let me know what you guys think about this situation down below. Apparently she's still been doing these live shows. She's been having to sell her tickets for $3. And she's been writing off anyone who brings up these allegations as a hater. So we're going to see what happens. As always, I do want to thank you guys.
Alright, you guys. So that was Jamari with This YouTuber Is Disturbing, man. Yeah, talking about this Ballinger chick, you know what I'm saying? But nah, what she doing is crazy, bro. What she doing is crazy. You feel me? Y'all let me know your thoughts about down in the comment section down below. You already know it's Boomer. It's Boomer with Bally Star. You feel me? So Make sure to leave a like just below the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new, so that we can become part of the all-star gang up in this thing. And yeah, man, brand new album, The Accursed Blessing Deluxe, is out now. It's outside. It's out here, baby. Go get it. Ooh!
I don't know what to do. I just want you to